Oh, there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite written Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of the apple and share it with you. And of course, this weekend is Kaiju Brooklyn. It's an event of kaiju proportions. And we're all, well, except for Ryan, who's going to Fan Expo Philly. Woo! We're all heading to Kaiju Brooklyn this weekend in Industry City, and we're all going to have some fun.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God!
Raphael.
I was gonna say I can hear him clear as a bell, but maybe I'm in the
It works now.
dimension.
Wait, who can't? Oh, so Paul, you can't hear me?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm great.
goofing around,
Doing
Paul.
fine.
You've been having technical
All good.
difficulties on the show for the past couple of weeks, so.
I don't know. I can hear him clear as a bell, but who knows?
All right, folks. I hope you guys are ready to party, ready to have fun. It's Memorial Day. This is going to be memorable.
Yes.
And you know what? Life on Saturn. We're going to start with you guys. We're going to let the people know all the good stuff. Give them the spiel. Go for it.
No pressure.
After the event. Hello?
Yep, go for it.
I got all of it.
Oh, okay.
You guys got to do the whole thing. You got to give them the spiel. These people want to know who you are, so you got to
tell
let
us
them know.
about yourself. Who
There
are
are no
you?
scripts in this show. Do you guys realize that?
Who are you, Laugh on Saturn Comics?
Okay.
What does that even mean?
Okay. So we're Life on Saturn Comics. This is Lydia, and I'm Dominic. And we're a married comic duo, and we've been doing this for a while. How long? Well, since 2020. That's not a while. But
That's a while.
Good while, actually.
But I draw and I write, and I taught myself how to color recently. And Lyd also is. I mean, you want to say?
So I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I started out in fine art as a painter, but I just generally love production and seeing like things come to life. So when I'm not working on comics, I'm working on merch for the table and just lots of other creative stuff. So
Yeah, she makes prints and zines and stickers, and like she makes like little plush dolls. She makes.
Hold on, I'll bring you up.
It's a plushie.
Oh, look at that.
this is our mascot, Kai Duck. I was inspired by, I think, Goberman from Kaiju Brooklyn, like his mascot. We noticed him last year, and people have been really responding to our new colors, because we had mostly black and white for our, I guess, company colors, but I switched to black and pink, and it's been good. It's been good. So he's Dom loves ducks, so I thought a duck wanting to be like some kind of kaiju in a kaiju suit was adorable, and so he exists.
But yeah, so she makes those. I mean, she's been working on like pillowcases. Yeah.
So yeah, I noticed there was a lot of Violante love last year, so I wanted to work on a really epic illustration. I love Art Nouveau. It's one of my favorite movements in art. So I did like an Art Nouveau inspired design, and I'm hoping to finish a few more pillows before we get in there, but definitely like took out the sewing machine this year and tried something different for myself.
But other than that, we've been a part of countless anthologies, like most indie artists, and we have a couple of our own titles, such as our original story Fennec. It's a tokusatsu story, and we have another story called Hunter Duck that sells pretty well. And Lyd even made a helmet from one of the stories.
Yeah, this year I will be cosplaying as our character in this comic that's debuting this year, La Cabra.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a character from our story, Fennec, who wears that helmet, loses the helmet, and then the next person to get the helmet is in our new story, La Cabra, which will premiere at Kaiju Brooklyn.
Oh, you guys are like on fire.
I don't even know why I'm here, honestly. I'm not even worthy of being on this set. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. It's just, I don't know.
I gotta say, like, you guys are coming prepared. You guys are gunning, man.
For real,
you guys got cosplay. You guys got kaiju. You guys got the
Kaiju.
Oh my god,
It's kaiju. I'm gonna say it. I mean, that's how.
You know, it's just amazing. When did you said you guys started in 2020?
Yeah,
Right?
with comics.
With
specifically.
comics, yeah.
I gotta say, like 2020 sounds like a time where we all said we need to do something.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I know
Locked away in
the
our
live
home.
version of the show started in 2020.
Yeah.
It's funny how a pandemic can spur all these creative juices. Am I right?
I agree.
Fair.
So tell us about it. What brought about this creation? Was it the pandemic? Was it you guys? We got to do something.
It was the end of an era. Like, I was winding down from a super toxic job / employer, and needed to get out. And then we just kind of like left where we were living, made a big move to like kind of where it's like the Catskill area where my family is, and I spent time with my family, and that's where we did comics. And that's before we even came down to the city, because now we relocated again and we're in the city. But
yeah, 2020 is when we started working on our first book, which was an anthology that we made, and we had a bunch of friends who were writers submit their stories, and we drew and colored every story in a different style to match the writer, and that was. Yeah. And there was a lot to learn there. It was not easy, like learning how to make a book, and we learned that editors have the hardest job in a comic. And that job sucks.
It's very important. And actually, even before our anthology in 2020, there was a group of artists in our community where we were living at the time in Plattsburgh, New York. It was Trashburg. They put on Trashburg Comics, and they were releasing comics like almost monthly from 2018 through 2019.
Up until the pandemic.
Yeah, up until the pandemic, and then they hit a rough patch. And well, I mean, who didn't hit a rough patch? But they stopped publishing, and we started. So
that's the way it works, though. Sometimes, you know, and I gotta say, just the fact that they were doing monthly, that's not easy for indie.
That's very ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as an indie creator, monthly is just like, you know, that sounds like a myth.
Yeah. There's a lot of creative people up there in the North Country. I don't know. It's an interesting place, especially Plattsburgh. I love Plattsburgh. It's a great environment.
Yeah, up northern New York has so many underrated musicians and artists, for sure.
And that's where you guys started off as musicians, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've always done art. Like, she's always painted, and I've always drawn comics, but we didn't take art seriously until 2020. But before that, yeah, we were doing a lot of different music. Lyd and I played different instruments, and we were also filming skits and short films, our own music videos and stuff like that.
So it was just in your blood. You guys needed to keep doing something, you know, and this was the direction that you guys were like, oh, well, we can do this.
Yeah, basically every time we don't like relying on people. So like when you're a musician, oh my God, we just had to rely on people's studios, and relying on people's studios is annoying. And then eventually, after enough cancellations, we're like, let's just learn programs and figure out how to do it on our own. And then it came time where we needed to make our own music videos. It was like, let's just learn a camera and do it on our own. And that's just our pattern.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, because as a voiceover actor, it's a little easier for me because my booth is a little smaller than your booth. You know, I can just set up my little booth and we're good, because all I need is enough room for me to do whatever I need to do. You guys need enough room for you guys to do your thing.
Yeah.
And people don't think about this stuff. You know, I know the creative out there, they go, oh, they're just doing whatever. There's a lot of stuff that goes with all these things we do, whether it's indie comic creation, whether it's indie music, whether it is being a voiceover actor that works from their location. There's other things that go with it. Heck, a podcaster. You know, I feel like people think it's a simple thing to do a podcast.
Yeah.
You make it look easy, Ralph.
Yeah, but Raphael makes it look easy, so you know.
Oh my God! So you know, before we continue with Life on Saturn, you know, was it easy for you guys to do your podcast? Oh no, talking to Ryan and Henry.
Oh, right. Our podcast.
Yeah, Life on Saturn. I was going to say we'll get back to them in a
Man,
minute.
I don't know about that
We'll get
segue, man. I got
I was
to
gonna
talk you up
say,
for showing this one, Raphael.
Yeah, who's
That was a
on
bad
first?
segue, but we'll go ahead. Let's keep going.
All my segues can be good, okay?
What was
I
the
will say
question? I was just kidding.
I will say for It Came From a Monster Movie, the podcast creation sequence is whenever I slide into DMs for potential guests, they're like, "This is a really fun idea," and I'm like, I will say it's quite the time commitment because a recording for me goes about maybe on average 3.5 hours to 4 hours. Not because we're talking for that entire length of time, but because the process of the recording is we do a 30 to 40 minute introduction of the guests and the movie itself. And then we actually break in between the recording because I provide the film online for all of us to watch together. So when we do the part B recording, it's a fresh conversation. Like it's literally, I try to capture the feeling of what it's like after seeing a movie and you're walking out of the theater with friends. And that's our part B. And it's crazy because I had some people tell me like, oh, don't you think that like recording process like scares people away? And to be honest, especially doing the news show, I literally have people on standby at all times waiting for the next chance to record because it's not to toot my own horn, but like It Came From a Monster Movie started in 2019 and it's come a really long way. And with this Rebirth sequel series, and we can obviously go about it when we finish with Life on Saturn, but this Rebirth sequel series has definitely created something of a community that I was not expecting, that the first one never really found its footing for. So, but we could talk about little old me in just a bit.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Cheers.
How about you, Ryan?
I mean, not to get too deep into my spoilers / Eat Your Hollywood Story, but I've been podcasting on and off for 20 years. So we started out just using a studio at my trade school with two friends of mine from high school. We started a podcast together doing that, and that was fine. And they eventually kicked us out because we started using it a little too much. We're like, all right, we need to say this for the kid, the students, the fresh faces, the fresh talent. You guys are going to have to go somewhere else. So then we started using a production studio at my work because I worked for a radio station at one point, and I was using one of the production studios, and I was working the graveyard shift. So I was there in the middle of the night when nobody else was there. So we thought we could use the studios, and then little did we know I got in trouble for that.
That sounds like what we do.
Yeah. Don't ever use production studios without authorization, kids. There's your PSA for Monday. So I got in trouble for that, but lesson learned, y'all. Lesson learned. But nowadays it's not that difficult for me to do a podcast because I have a connection with a friend of mine. He's helped me out for a long time, and I have a connection with another friend of mine who helps do my graphics and things like that. So he's been a huge help in getting my podcast more exposure, more promotion, off the ground, more followers, subscribers, however you want to slice it or dice it. And there's a little bit more to it than that, but I'll, like Henry said, I'll save that for, when it's Ryan's turn to talk and share his Eat Your Hollywood Story and the sales pitch. I'll get to that later. But enough about me. How is life on Saturn? Is it better than life on Earth?
That's a good question.
I'm just curious because Saturn is a very unique planet with all these rings going around it and moons and things like that.
I gotta say, Life on Saturn is a great name for music because Saturn always looks like a big record.
Yeah, it does. It's got the rings. It's perfect. It's genius. It's ingenious.
I'm a little angry. I never thought of that, to be honest.
Really? All right.
I mean, Saturn came because of an old friend that said I was weird, and then it evolved to him saying I'm out of this world, and then it evolved to him just calling me Saturn, and then that just became my identity.
Wow, that's a unique story. I like it.
Yeah,
it's good.
See, that's the stuff you need to have because people always go, and where did your name come from? And now you got a unique story to say.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it. I dig it. It's a very unique name that'll definitely stand out like a sore thumb in a good way, though. I don't mean it as a negative.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, I think when people hear it, they want a correlation between Saturn and the art. I mean, I have like I know some things about Saturn. Having the name, I gotta like study up on it a little bit, but like there's no correlation. It's
I think the closest we get is our that anthology series we started with, Rings of Saturn.
Yeah.
There's a wraparound story, and that's to answer the question about life on Saturn. Is like, I mean, maybe it technically is right now with things going on, but you can't live on Saturn. You live around Saturn. So the wraparound for that anthology is a bar that's on one of the asteroids in the belt.
No, it's our wraparound story. It's called Titan's Tavern. It's a bar that is on Titan. It's a moon, one of Saturn's moons.
Yeah.
And if you were to live on Saturn, that's where you'd have to live, is one of their asteroids. You can't live on Saturn.
That's funny. I thought upstate New York was referred to Saturn at some point as well.
We got a whole stories.
I was gonna say, forget about going to Saturn the planet. I need to go to Plattsburgh, New York, because I hear it's like Saturn. So, all right, never mind. I'm gonna add Plattsburgh, New York to my travel itinerary so I can meet you kind folks up there. How's that sound? We'll do a meeting.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll shoot the breeze, talk some comics.
Exactly. I have to ask, because a lot of people always ask me the same question: how do you start comics? Because I feel like they feel overwhelmed
It's a loaded
when
question.
it comes to how some people do it, which is just start their own book, which is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, even though an anthology is a lot of work. But at the same time, it's more doable, because usually in an anthology, you only need about 8 pages or so, depending on the anthology. Sometimes 11 pages, but that's so much easier to do than trying to do a 26-page comic book.
Yeah, I would say that's the best way to get started, is joining other people's anthologies, because we were exclusively in anthologies for a while, and honestly, that's what inspired us to continue with Fennec. Is we made it into an anthology that was a collaboration with Snowy Den Works, and I forget the other company.
Oh, lesser known comics.
But it was lesser known comics. Okay, so they were in collaboration, and then they selected Fennec, which was at that time, was it 8 pages or 10 pages?
So we found this anthology on Instagram, and they were looking for submissions, and so I wrote a really quick 10-page story called Fennec, and I submitted it, and they accepted it. And then little did we know that this is the only anthology that's ever done this, and we've been a part of a lot of them, but there were like winners, like the best stories in the book got printing credit for Comics Wellspring, and that's how we got involved with like lesser known comics and that crew, and because they showed so much love for Fennec, I'm like, oh, let's make it a book, let's do it. And that's hard, because when you train yourself to be an anthology artist, like 10-page stories at a time, that's not how you learn how to write. So I mean, I spent years just like making these 10-page stories that were just okay. So when it came time to make a book, the hardest thing of all was like teaching yourself how to write. And I mean, writers always shit on themselves. They're like, I'm just a writer, you're the artist. It's like, well, it's whatever you know, because for me, art is a lot easier than writing. I want to be an indie artist, but I don't want to write like one. I want to be a good writer. So I learned, all the 3-act structures and 4-act structures and et cetera, and studying that is very tough, but that's how you make a book. You got to study writing, and you got to not write like an indie writer.
It's so funny that you say that, because it's already hard enough to, I'm not going to say it's hard enough to write, because writing is just you writing, but becoming better at the writing is what the hard thing is. And then on top of that, you have to, besides the fact that you're becoming a better writer, you need to realize how to do a comic script, because a comic script is its own thing. It's not a movie script.
Oh, I can't count. Like 90% of the writers who have written for me like write in movie script form, and it's like I try to tell them all that like in a movie you like spread out your dialogue, your scenes, you pay more attention to tiny little movements that a character would do, and you can't really write that kind of stuff in a comic. You have to like fit a bunch of stuff into one panel. Yeah. And you have to, the dialogue, you have to get punchier with the dialogue. You have to get to the point better. And then there's like some indie tropes that get annoying. Like, I mean, I've done it myself, but once you see it, you got to like undo it. But like when people exposition dump in weird ways, like every indie writer has a news scene where the news anchor seems to know everything that's happening in the universe, and exposition dump. It's like, that is, you got to stop doing that.
I think what it is, one of the things, at least from what I've seen from talking to people, is as writers, as regular writers, you know, we explain everything in our writing.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like we forget when we're doing comic scripts that we have a partner that's actually helping us tell half the story or 3/4 of the story in their art.
Mhm.
You know, I feel like you know, and then we continue to try to put all this stuff in there. I'm like, no, you already have the artist doing stuff, so you don't need to tell what the artist is doing.
Yes, let the I mean, what can be unsaid, let it be unsaid and let it be seen. It's a comic book. This is not a chapter book, you know. For sure, I definitely agree with that.
See, folks, I tell you, this is how you do it. You get yourself into an anthology, because doing a 5-page story or a 10-page story, especially if you're paying for your artist, is so much cheaper than doing a 26-page story. You can pay for 5 pages.
In fact, I think writing for anthologies might be why people exposition dump, because, you know, you only got 10 pages, 5 pages. You want to give your audience their money's worth, right? But it's like, no, you gotta cut that out when you write a long story, because your audience is not stupid. In fact, your audience, they like to feel like they solved the clues themselves. So just like, don't explain stuff.
Less is more.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Less is more. And every time you say this is how we do it, Raphael, I feel like Montel Jordan's going to step out of his studio at any moment. This is how we do it. You know, like that whole tune is just going to start playing. And I'm like, dude, it's 1996. Let's go, man.
He won't put that up there, Ryan, only because we'll get slapped. So don't worry about it.
No. I wasn't trying to say like we're actually going to start singing it and get.
Oh no! I love those old shows where they would put the music on for no reason.
Oh, it's great.
And I hate the fact that if I try to do it, somebody's gonna be like, "Strike," because somebody's always listening, folks.
Yeah.
Big Brother's watching.
What do we call them? Big Brother's watching, or FCC's always watching? I don't know.
It's AI now.
Well, it's all 3 of them now, yeah.
All 3 or 4 of them, however many there are in cyberspace.
So you guys have started doing the convention circuit, you know, and I have to say, I tell people all the time that if you have books, if you have comic books, it's easier to do once you have 2 or 3 books, or you have merchandise.
Right.
Because you need both, you know, and it's a weird conversation to have with people, because they look at you like you're crazy. Like, why would I have merchandise for 1 book? But sometimes the merchandise, you know, we've seen Star Wars. Sometimes the merchandise is where you make the money. You know, so you guys are doing the conventions. Have you found that you sell more books at the conventions, or you sell more books outside of the convention?
Definitely at a convention. I mean, face-to-face interactions with people still works. I mean, there are some people who will walk by our table at a convention, and just me being friendly and saying hello, I don't know if they don't get a lot of love in their life or what, but they'll stop and just because they nerded out with me for 5 seconds about Wonder Woman or whatever, they're like, well, let me check out your book. You know what? They probably don't even give a shit. They like my personality. I mean, like, there's so many reasons that they'll buy a book in person, but yeah, in person still really sells.
Mhm.
I am so happy you said that, because, you know, we talk about on the show a lot about, you know, the person behind the table at a convention, and sometimes they're behind the table.
Yeah. No, say hello. Say hello to people.
Not even that, looking down on their pad drawing and like
Well, they're
totally
looking down at
ignoring
their
I don't mind that, because they're doing something, and I will come up to an artist going, "That looks good," and usually a conversation will start.
No, they still go. Oh,
Yeah. Or they're looking
Because
fight.
I mean, because I'm also a customer, I walk around to other people's tables, and it's like, I like to be sold stuff, because I only have so much money. So if you're not going to sell me your book, like, then the pressure is off, and I'm like, okay, I'll go spend it on someone else who's making me feel bad if I don't buy something.
Wow, that's a good way. That's an interesting way of putting it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes you don't need to do too much. You know, all you need to do is, you know, somebody comes to your table, you go, "Oh, so let me tell you about my book." That's it.
Yeah.
You tell people about your book all the time. Just tell the person about your book.
Absolutely.
You don't need to do, you don't need to be Ralph in a podcast. You don't need to be Ryan in a podcast.
Well,
but I think you're right about the making the merchandise for no matter how small the story is, because like at Kaiju Brooklyn we're featuring our story La Cabra, and that's just a brand new 10-page story in our anthology we're doing for the event. And that 10-page story, we're making like some stickers, some posters, like, a cosplay. You still gotta promote it.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, you guys are right on it. I tell people all the time, sometimes you need to do all these things. Paul himself right now is working on his own thing, and he's actually doing his own cosplay thing. He's working on a little booklet that he's going to be selling at Garden State Comic Fest to show off his stuff. We believe in exactly what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I just did it but backwards. So I did the video game, then the merchandise. Now I'm doing the comic book last. So that's what it is.
Wow, you have a video game?
Yeah, I got a video game that's out on the app stores. It came out of COVID, and I wanted to make learning history fun for kids. That was really the inspiration. I saw what my kids are going through with COVID and just the whole virtual experience, and I wanted to turn digital around and make it an interesting experience for kids, and that's what came with the idea for the video game. And then what happened was I'm working on episode 2 for the video game. It's looking really good, but then I have to animate all the sequences. So if I'm going to animate all the sequences, I might as well make a comic book. So that's what I did. So
you got it right there. Oh, you told me.
Well, I made the comic book, but I got all the merch. I got the hat, I got the shirt, I got the buttons, I've got the flip chips.
See, he's doing exactly what we're talking about.
Dude, my mind is totally
I got
blown.
everything. So if you come to my table, I got so much merch, and I finally got a comic book that I can show off. So it's only $3, but we'll be doing a Kickstarter in July, and it's going to feature the full version. So this is actually just the first 8 pages of the book.
Oh my God.
It's meant to be an introduction. It's got a link to the Kickstarter in the back, so people can connect and do the pre-launch. So we're pretty excited about it. I'm really happy. It looks good. It's a little dark because I chose the wrong ICC color combo. So I'm having another print done. I should have that by the next week. And then if that looks good, then I'll be producing all the copies for Garden State Comic Fest, which I'm excited about. So,
is it a noir?
It's not noir. Actually, one of the characters in the book is noir. It's based on history. So I'm featuring pretty much any character from history that is in the story. This episode that I call Flying into the Chronostorm is featuring Amelia Earhart, Nico Time, who's actually a film noir character based on like Sam Spade and Philip Marlowe's from the 40s and 50s.
Yes.
And then I've got Maisie. She's actually a mechanic who went to MIT, did her graduate work in Caltech in warp dynamics and temporal dynamics. And then I've got Togo, who is a sled dog who ran the sled run in 1925. And that's how he's featured. But just really quick, I got this page here. This is all the characters are in the book.
Can you blow that up? Let me see that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. So 2 things. One, shut up and take my money. Okay. First of all, that cover just screams to me Maltese Falcon Casablanca. That just screams.
Yeah, I love it, man. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Paul, that is like 1.21 gigawatts of freaking awesomeness. And secondly,
look at that. We got Thing clapping too, man.
The Thing is clapping.
I got a hand clap from Thing. I made my day. I'm happy. It doesn't get any better than that.
He's clapping for the shiz. And number 2, most importantly, Paul, this is the stuff that dreams are made of.
So I appreciate that, Ryan. I'm
real.
really looking at making
dude, send me that dial. Get it. Slide into those DMs. I got to get you on my show, man.
Yeah, I'm there because I want to raise this to the rooftops. My ultimate goal is to make this an education framework for kids, and I've got the comic book is one part of it. The video game was another, but the whole point is I have a state mandated curriculum set up so that the teachers can actually use the content and teach subject matter to the kids, and we have a whole journaling aspect set up where we're trying to get the kids back to basics. It's just not technology. It's actually reading, writing. I'm not going to say arithmetic because it's social studies, but it's writing information in journals, it's collaborating, it's doing research, and it's getting together and doing presentations as a group, and really, you know, making a team effort. And that's really the point, is to get kids involved in the discourse, discussing things, as opposed to just sticking your head in a phone and looking at some content online. And that's really the premise of what I'm trying to do with this. It's gotten really good reaction. I've actually presented at the NJEA conference in New Jersey last fall. A lot of teachers were loving this. I presented at EdTech last fall as well, and a lot of the founders were like saying this is amazing, because it's more than tech. It's really combining all the elements of learning in one package, and that's what really makes it a lot of fun.
I gotta say, somebody says it well here. I'll put it in here. I had to stop going to Dom and Lid's table because during these things, because they had so many goodies, I always left broke.
Yeah.
So this goes to exactly what we're talking about.
Man. Yeah.
Ralph, pull up Nick's video, because you did the special character voice characterization.
You want to show Nick's video? Hold on.
Yeah, because I think Ryan will like
talk amongst yourselves while I do this.
Yeah. Well, I'm promoting Raphael as well, so
I'm just impressed with the comic book creation. I tried to make a comic a few years ago with my friend Destiny, aka Kaiju Hime, because before I became a podcaster, I tried to publish. Well, I have published it. Just for some reason, no one's biting it. It's a story called Apex, a giant monster story. Pretty much, it is a lifelong project that I've been doing, where I created my own giant monster series, where pretty much it's got like queer characters and it takes all over the world. And I used to be a paleontologist, so I have this crazy science background.
Nice.
So I've created some like really unique monsters that I'm really, really proud of. Like whenever I talk about the creatures that show up in the series, like people come up to me like, I didn't know that animal did that. I'm like, it doesn't. I made it up. Like, it's not a real creature. But Apex was like something that in the original run of ICFAM, I always was trying to promote. I tried to go from a novel to an audio drama to a comic. We did eventually get some pages published between me and Destiny. And also, that writing process is such a difference. The thing that I found fun, because I also was a creative writer. I have worn so many hats in my life, it freaks people out. Because I used to live in Korea. I was an English teacher.
Damn.
I used to act in Seoul. The only continent I haven't been to is Antarctica. All this stuff. And pretty much Apex was going to come into being, but life got in the way. So I have a lot of admiration to those who were able to do pen and paper. I mean, I've got notes and stories. There is a Substack with the first episode of Apex published in 3-part chapters, which is a lot of fun. But then I forget that, people don't like to read sometimes unless it has pictures, but it's wonderfully illustrated. I do have some really fun creature designs. I design all my own creatures, but I commissioned an artist named Mel Cabre to bring some of my creatures to life. And there's a field guide.
I love the name, Mel Cabre.
Yeah, Mel Cabre is a fantastic artist. I highly recommend checking them out on Instagram, but fantastic creature artist. But they did one of my first waves of monsters. So there's a whole field guide that you could actually not only experience the narrative of the story, but you could get the classified files of the monsters themselves and learn stats and behavior and all sorts of stuff. So I have a lot of admiration to you guys for what you're creating with from anthology to the series that you're publishing now. And I remember seeing you guys last year with Kaiju Brooklyn, and I really liked your booth and all that. Just I don't know, I might have said hello because I'm the talent manager, so I jump around. I started off with John at Kaiju Brooklyn as a volunteer because John and I have known each other for a long time. But I went from volunteer to helping him find a team, and then they made me the talent manager. Nice. And I helped with vendors in Kaiju Brooklyn 3 and all that jazz. So it was a whole thing. But I remember
in the nitty gritty of Kaiju Brooklyn.
No, I am one of the managers of Kaiju Brooklyn. I've been working with John for a very long time.
Well, that explains why John sent me your way.
Yeah. No, it's really funny because I have friends, because I have a lot of friends who work for the news outlet Kaiju United, and I'm good friends with the the editor in chief of Kaiju United, and we were talking with some of his employees, and one of them was like, yeah, like, you know, I really need to get a hold of the talent manager for Kaiju Brooklyn. Henry, do you know who that is? And I'm like, it's me. You should know this. And he was like, well, I didn't know. And I was like, you worked. Why didn't you think it was interesting that when you came to me last year, I got the guests for your interviews? Like, so it was a funny little coincidence. I've been helping John with this convention for a long time. I'm really happy to see how it's gone. I'm really happy with the team and like Life on Saturn. I remember when your account popped up last year, and I was working with the other vendor manager, and we were just like really impressed with you guys. So I'm really happy that I'm actually, when I saw you jump on this call, I was like, oh, good, they're going to be there again, because I wanted to get to know you better from last year. So
we love this event. We look forward to, I mean, we only went once so far, and we're like, we're going to go. We look forward to it every year.
We were trying to get in for 3 years.
Yeah, we were trying to get in.
I've been to every single one of them. They're fantastic. It's an amazing event, which is why we constantly push it here on Bit and Apple TV, because, you know, it's just something people should go check out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying nothing, but you guys have to follow my Kickstarter, because get the floor.
It's gonna be kind of a big deal.
There's an event of Kaiju proportions happening in Time Enforcers.
You know, I don't know if I knew you were a paleontologist last year, but I've never known a paleontologist nerd. But I have so many questions. Like it must litter your creature characters that you create. I mean, when you're watching kaiju stories, is there anything kaiju do that you, as a paleontologist, you wish was there? Do you ever get sick of the fact that Jurassic Park holds the Hollywood monopoly on dinosaurs?
Ugh.
So
That's a whole other show.
we're going to I'm trying to okay, all right, give me one moment. I have to figure out. No, it's so yeah, a lot of things yes to it. So the thing that people, sorry, I'm like trying not to
Geek
I
out.
am very
Geek out, man.
no, it's not
Well,
geek
you only
out.
have
It's
an
a
hour and a half, so.
it's I feel really bad. John knows this. Most people in the community who know me know that we don't usually use the K word around me, because I get really weird with it. Because I used to teach English in Korea, and because teaching a language, I got really picky with words. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, what I love about Kaiju Brooklyn is because it's a monster convention. It's a lot of tokusatsu. Yep. It's Ultraman. It's Kamen Rider. It's Godzilla. It's Gamera. It's monster movies. And you'll also notice that with It Came for a Monster movie, I usually just say monster. I rarely will use the kaiju word, because I feel like, because technically the word is being incorrectly used. Because a kaiju is a strange beast. A daikaiju is a giant strange beast. And I always point out to people that when people say, what's your favorite kaiju film? I say Aliens. Because it's a tokusatsu strange beast movie. And then I just get flooded with comments.
People getting angry at you, yeah.
I am a monster movie renegade in the community, but it's a lot of fun. I really love the genre, and as like a paleontologist, like there's some things that are fun. Like I have all these science friends who come on my podcast, and one of my best friends from uni was this guy named Jeff, and right now he lives in New Zealand, and he raises octopus for study. And he was our resident squid guy on the show. Like if I ever have a tentacle themed episode, Jeff, literally still to this day from New Zealand, will never miss an episode when I invite him on, because it's like I have this science background from like I was a field researcher in paleontology. I've worked in botany labs. I've done like all this kind of like wackadoo science, but then I left university with a creative writing major. And then I ran away to South Korea to become a teacher. And then I came back to the States and ran restaurants.
Wow.
So like I did this whole journey of things, but Jeff's like, he's gone to other science friends. It's like, if Henry sneaks into your DMs, you go. Because Henry will ask you those science questions no one else will ask. Because the first time Jeff and I did a movie, we did this awful movie I found about a squid monster. And she was a marine biologist, and she was trying to like feed the creature. And it was like a little octopus monster thing. And on her board of trying to feed it, it had like fish, clams. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's a marine organism. You would feed it marine things. And then all of a sudden it had said rat. And I was like, Jeff, can you feed a rat to an octopus? And Jeff's like, Henry, we're not going down that route. But I'm like, but now I want to know, like, would an octopus go for a rat? And these are the science questions that It Came From a Monster Movie tries to tackle with its genre. But like I have a fantastic paleontologist, Riley Black, who's coming up on an upcoming episode where we did Lost World Jurassic Park. And we had a good time geeking about dinosaurs on that episode because there are no dinosaurs in the Jurassic Park franchise.
Yeah. Yes.
Because they're not dinosaurs. They're genetic frog monsters. They're because you can't. I don't know if you guys know about the dire wolf situation. Sorry, again, I have stuff, but
we get you.
It's that dire wolf situation. If you clone a dire wolf, you don't get a dire wolf. You get a monster that looks like a dire wolf because what makes us human is our parents. So if you don't have a parent organism to raise your child, you're not going to get that behavior accurately. So like that's long story short. That is how I answer my Jurassic Park stuff. I remind myself they ain't dinosaurs. They're theme park genetically monsters that look like
but that answer
dinosaurs.
makes so much sense. If you're looking at the whole picture, it makes so much sense. But Henry, now that you've jumped into this, you got to tell the people who you are and all the stuff that you're talking about. That way they can go check you out. Go for it.
So life finds a way.
Exactly.
My name's Henry Winston. I'm also known as Henry the Host. I am the host for the podcast That Came From a Monster Movie Rebirth, which is my sequel series to It Came From a Monster Movie. Pretty much, in theory, we've been on air since 2015. This new series came out last summer. Pretty much, this is like my pride and joy experiment. If you go to the Instagram, you'll see that we have a lot of content. Those 3 pinned messages are probably the best way to explain this film because what we do is we analyze film in a very unique way because the goal of the show is we're trying to explain the Jurassic Park theory. Everybody seems to like Jurassic Park, but did you know in 1993 Carnosaur came out before and it's the same movie? But why do people go to Jurassic Park but not Carnosaur? So pretty much we do this thing, and what we're looking at now is actually something I came up called the cinematic eras, which is where in my autism I have classified cinematic history as several eras based off the Godzilla franchise to explore the trend of monster movies. So we have Showa era monster movies, we have Reiwa era monster movies, Heisei, so on and so forth. We also do like the Pompo scale, which is pretty much based off the idea that about like 90-minute markers, because I got obsessed with an animated movie from Japan called Pompo the Cinephile, where she says the statement, a movie that is over 90 minutes is an insult to the audience. So we talk about that with film. This is our monster movie type. So I've actually categorized monster movies in 14 different types. So category 1 is giant monsters, and it shows examples, supernatural beings, so on and so forth. But we just watch movies. We just get scientists and artists and musicians and interesting people from interesting backgrounds, and I trick you into watching monster movies with me. And then the goal is not to tell whether a movie is good or bad, but to talk about its accessibility. Like, the higher the grade the movie is, the more likely you could put that on and everybody will be engaged with that film. Because there are some good, bad movies that everybody could watch. But again, in 1990, like we recently did the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993 with John Leguizamo and
Love that
Bob
movie.
Hoskins. It's a great movie. It got a B on our show. But we talked about how
great movie. I think people don't give it enough credit.
Love Tremors. Love Tremors.
We did Tremors. Tremors is one of our A+ films.
Best.
Let me just double check that grade for Super Mario Brothers. But Super Mario Brothers got a B-, so it got a 20 out of 25. And we grade the movies on story, concept, characters, design and execution, and overall enjoyment. So, like, you know, a lot of movies get like really interesting grades, and Cruel Humanity is a new genre because with that. But like, yeah, there's our grading rubric that shows you how we grade the films, and yeah, it's a fun conversation to be had. And I started doing this because when I moved back from Korea, I lived out of my car for 3 months, just traveling around the United States. Because when I was in Korea, I went to China because my mom was teaching in China, and I did the Great Wall of China. And we were up there, and my mom was telling me, like, you know, she couldn't believe that she had adult students who had never been to the Great Wall of China. And I looked at her and I'm like, Mom, we grew up in the States and I've never been to the Grand Canyon. So when I left Korea gave me a pension plan. So when I left Korea, I was able to collect that pension. So I just lived out of my Prius for 3 months, drove across the country and went to the Grand Canyon. But during that process, I listened to podcasts a lot. And when I moved to South Carolina to go teach creative writing, I was like, I want to do a podcast. So I created this, which all my friends growing up will tell you, this is what Henry's been doing all their life. They just figured out a way to record it. And the rest is history. And like I said, I've known John since G-Fest of 2019, I think.
Wow.
No, G-Fest of 2018. I've known John since 2018. When I lived in New York for a little bit, John and I were always close. And then right before I moved to England, John did KB2. And then I volunteered with him. He saw that I did a lot of good work. So I became part of the team full on since 2024.
Impressive.
So I come back to the States once a year for Kaiju Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
This is funny. I like to pretend Michael Gross's character from Family Ties is the same character as the one in Tremors.
Yeah, Burt Gummer, baby. Burt Gummer. Yeah.
Also, I've been on 2 documentaries. One was for paleontology, but I don't like talking about that. The other one is a Tubi exclusive where I was a cultural expert on a documentary called Battle of the Beasts, the Bigfoot versus Yeti, because I had to I was hired to talk about who would win in a fight, the Bigfoot or the Yeti. And I hear I'm the best part of that documentary.
Hell yeah. I'm going to look that up.
There's Bigfoot or the Yeti, right? I have to know if the bionic Bigfoot was part of that.
Well, I don't believe in Bigfoot, but I did bring up I believe in the Yeti, but but during the recording process, they were like, okay, we know you don't believe in Bigfoot, but if you had to believe in Bigfoot, how would you believe in Bigfoot? And I was like, I hate to say it, but if I had to believe in Bigfoot, my theory is the time traveler theory. And they're like, where Bigfoot is just visitors from the future wearing fiber optic cloaking suits.
Makes total sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that would explain why you can't find them, why you can't see them.
It's also explained why Bigfoot it can't be caught on camera because it's blurry.
Exactly.
It's too blurry.
Why does the big suit have toes?
It's called
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if they are from the future, then that means that like that foot shoe won the war for what we're putting on our feet. Like somehow Crocs finally died, and those like true foot shoes like took over. Yeah,
no more bunions.
I don't know. I'm a big Alpha Flight fan, so I don't know. Wendigo makes it for me. I can't help it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but Wendigo is a whole other creature.
No, it's not. It's
Wendigo-
Canadian
Wendigo showed up
Canada's
on
version of
Snap.
Wendigo is not
No,
Bigfoot.
no. Wendigo is a Native American mythological creature that represents cannibalism. It's actually nothing to do with the Bigfoot or the Sasquatch
Yeah,
or
I
the big
figured
hairy
so.
man of any kind of Canadian culture.
And
I
why
do
did
love
John Byrne draw him like that. I don't understand. You're confusing me, Henry. Sorry. John Byrne
No,
drew him just like he was white per se, but he was big, hairy Bigfoot. I don't know.
Who's drawing a big hairy Bigfoot Wendigo? Where did you
I don't
see
know.
this?
John Byrne, Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight, yeah, his version of the Wendigo
Oh, it's there
is
somewhere.
a big furry orange or white creature.
Yeah. That's why I'm confused.
Oh,
I get
yeah,
all the
no.
information
Confuse
from
everybody,
comic books.
Paul.
What do you want from
Well,
me?
I hate to tell you this, but it is a work of fiction.
Fiction. Fiction.
I still think the bionic Bigfoot is the way to go.
Yeah, sure.
So
It's not real.
I guess I'm aging myself with the bionic
But
man
we-
there, but
aging myself. Aging
Look,
myself.
I-
Yeah.
I like monsters, and I figured out a way to make a show where I get to talk about monsters every week.
That's
Right now, the show is somewhat in a production hell due to a snafu in April, but I'm slowly but surely coming back. But like, the thing that I should probably stress is we're very loose about the monster movie definition. Stuart Little counts as a creature feature on our show.
Fair. Santa Claus.
Monsters Inc. is also a monster movie because Boo is the monster. We did Small Soldiers. We've done a lot. We really explore the fact that like the creature feature genre is so ingrained in the human like storytelling zeitgeist.
So wait,
that
have you done Little Monsters yet?
Raphael, wait, I have a question.
the 2019 Little Monsters?
No,
That's
the
a-
older one.
No, it's on the list. Like, look, guys,
Okay.
Hollywood could explode
I was gonna
tomorrow,
say,
and I would have
Fred-
content
Henry, I have a
forever.
question.
Mandel.
I have a question,
Answers.
Henry.
Answers.
Where do you stand on Mr. Peabody and Sherman?
Oh God.
Yeah, that
Paul,
would
what are
count
you
on the
doing?
show. That would
Different show.
like
Paul.
we count the B movie. We count the B movie because it's a woman who makes love with a bumblebee in a
Yikes.
DreamWorks film.
No, thank you.
We're also very pro monster lover on our podcast, so
Oh,
have fun
okay.
with that one in the writers'
yeah.
comments.
Shape of Water. Shape of Water. There you go.
Actually, I'm not a big fan of Shape of Water, and also we do have a one-sentence review of Shape of Water, but I don't want to break rules. So,
Or my favorite.
No, it's okay. I get it.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Folks, this is why you got to go check this guy out. He's fantastic. I got to give you credit because I don't do my show recorded because I don't want to edit.
Yeah, neither do I. That's why I do everything live.
Exactly. Live
I
is
do
so much
everything live, Henry. Live. We'll do it
I
live.
edit
Practice, do it
because
live.
sometimes it has to be edited. Because what was it like? So the people there is a group of people. I should also talk about this show is apparently so much fun that a lot of the managers at Kaiju Brooklyn sent me an email, especially the panelist manager Saul Ultrazilla, who's a fantastic guy. Saul messages me like, "Hey Henry, do you want to do It Came From a Monster Movie live at Kaiju Brooklyn?" Which is really funny because in 2020 I was going to do my first live show where IckFam was going to do Alien at a college campus for a film class, and we were really excited about it. We had merch, we had the whole thing up, and then the school closed for some unknown reason, so the live show got shelved. So now to have this opportunity, it's been great, but I have to like shorten the show completely, and also like they're like, I was like, can I use the King of the Monsters screening because we're showing Godzilla King of the Monsters on Saturday night.
Oh, I love that.
So
That's such a good movie.
When you're done with when it gets to 6 o'clock, we recommend to go to the Brooklyn One Theater at Industry City, get a seat. You will see me with some fantastic IckFam regulars who I'm going to shamelessly plug right now because they're all amazing people. We have Rachel from Gigantuan Designs. Rachel makes 3D printed figures, and Rachel is debuting a design called Brudora, which is a little beer topper that's shaped like Hedora that you can drink out of the can with. So we have that. Then we also have Kira, who's also known as Kirektevel. And Kira is this concept artist that you all probably have seen because Kira is hyper talented, like super, super talented. It's kind of like stupid how talented Kira is with art and it's so good that whenever Kira posts anything about the Monsterverse on the internet, people think that it's official leaked concept art. It's really fascinating. And then we also have, hold on, I'm getting you a few more names. We also have Destiny, aka Kaiju Hime, who is a fantastic artist. Destiny and Rachel and Kira will all be on the convention floor for Kaiju Brooklyn. And then we also have my friend Brian, aka Can Be Art. He's a really fantastic, talented artist. Brian and I have been friends for a long time because I went to university with his wife. They've been on the show many a times. Brian's great. And then we got my friend Naomi, who is super cool. And Naomi writes a lot of papers about Godzilla and other giant monsters in queer spaces. And Naomi is probably going to freak out at that Biolante piece that you guys did, because Biolante is Naomi's favorite monster. Well, one of Naomi's favorite monsters. And then we're going to be doing... and I sent those links to you, Bud, in the chat for those panelists of mine. But we'll also be introducing TJ. Yeah, there's Kira. There's Kira and Kira's style of art. But we'll be also introducing TJ Storm, who is the actor who played Godzilla in Godzilla 2019. And then the movie will start, and when the movie is done, come back afterwards because you'll hear us grade and discuss the movie. And my friend Kendra, who is a fantastic crafter and Kendra is my Star Trek #1 on the good ship ICFAM, and Kendra has made us panels for the show. But it will be super fun. It's just going to be a really good time. I'm really proud to be involved with Kaiju Brooklyn, and I think this live show is going to be an experience that everyone will really enjoy. Because I hear we're funny. I hear we're a really funny show. Really funny.
Yeah, this show is amazing, folks. Go check it out.
We'll also explain to you which characters in Godzilla King of the Monsters most likely would go to Chili's, because that is actually a rating we will do with some of our monster movies.
It's too bad I'm finding out about this now, because this sounds like a lot of fun. There's a buddy.
We are.
Don't worry, we're going to do it again next year.
Here in Maryland, who's a power Kaiju fan, that she would like to get in on this. And she's an indie artist too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's too bad I'm finding out about this. If I had known about this 6 months ago, I could have planned my schedule a little bit better. But it's all right. It happens.
Yeah. And or you can plan for next year.
Yeah. Well, next year is so far off. So
because we're getting bigger and bigger, Kaiju Brooklyn, and
bigger.
We're getting bigger and bigger.
We got.
Like this year, we got TJ Storm. As I said before, we also have the artist Tom Whalen. We also have the voice actor Wayne Grayson, who is best known for he was Joey Wheeler in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Michelangelo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003.
Okay.
But why we love him at Kaiju Brooklyn is Wayne was the voice actor for Ultraman Tiga in the early dub. We also have Keone Young, who's a fantastic voice actor, James Groman, the cosplayer Nautilus Cosplay. He is from Puerto Rico. His name's Sean. He's a fantastic guy, but he made a really good Godzilla suit from Godzilla against Mechagodzilla that he crafted himself. He's going to be there. And then Paul Komoda will also be there. And Paul's done creature design for like The Thing and I Am Legend and so on and so forth. So like, there's some cool people you guys are going to meet at Kaiju Brooklyn.
The Ultraman card game, I love that. Is there?
Yeah, we love our Ultraman friends.
So if the event gets any bigger, you're gonna like try to pitch renaming it to Kaiju Brooklyn.
I mean, I am always whispering in John's ear, can we please call it Kaiju Brooklyn? But apparently Kaiju Brooklyn sounds fine. And like I said, Kaiju Brooklyn means that it's all monsters are welcome. So, you know, we enjoy that. We like, yes, we are very tokusatsu based, but like, I don't know, enjoy creature feature at Kaiju Brooklyn. I'm not going to argue with that logic.
You know, why not?
Yeah. That's what I love. Every other convention is just the typical Marvel DC cosplay. Yeah. But man, at this event we get to see Henshin heroes and kaiju, and it's just like
Megazords, maybe. I don't
know. That's why this con excites me so much. Is because you didn't have a kaiju con.
30 years ago.
Usually you have kaiju in the con, but you don't have a kaiju con.
Yeah, well, now you do.
It's not even just like a way to celebrate people who love the genre, but I think what I love about Kaiju Brooklyn is that it's an accessible convention. Because a lot of our walk-ins are people who are at Industry City who are seeing us all have fun and they want to come in. I love the fact that there are people who go to Kaiju Brooklyn as their first monster experience and they didn't even know the con was happening. And then they learn about this culture.
That's why I love the fact that it's in Industry City, because Industry City becomes a character in the con itself. Because sometimes people are just hanging out in an Industry City and then boom, Kaiju.
It's going to be so much fun. Like, I most likely will be in my classic pink monster shirt because it's my formal monster shirt. So if you see me, I'm more than welcome to help you guys out. I'm always down to talk monsters. I'm always down to talk dinosaurs. I have a lot of things to talk about and not enough time to talk about it. So
yeah. I mean,
I gotta say, fantastic, Ryan. I need to know. Because, you've been here talking all these beautiful things, and you're already making plans to have some of these people on your show.
Probably, yeah.
Dude, I love it. I love it. So tell the people who you are, what you do, all the good things. Go for it, Ryan.
Well, the last thing I was going to tell Henry here is that dinosaurs had their shot, and nature selected them for extinction.
I'll give you guys a fun paleontology fun fact then, just to add to full circle to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, first circle right before it. Yeah.
So we actually do have T-Rex DNA. We have found and looked at the Tyrannosaur DNA structure, and we have found out that they did have hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is what affects taste. And because of the discovery, we now know that dinosaur chicken nuggets are the most scientifically accurate foodstuffs, because it's not that T-Rex taste of chicken, it's chicken taste of T-Rex. So there you go.
I was gonna say, what's the matter? You chicken? Anyway, yeah. What's the matter, McFly? Chicken? Anyway, I've seen so many movies in my career. It's the craziest. But anyway, to answer your $2 million question here, Raphael, I think he's blushing. I am not. I think he's actually turning red. Maybe not. Anyway, I grew up on Ninja Turtles. Sue me. All right, so who am I? Who is the most unqualified person to be on this show? Well, that would be me, apparently. So my, I'm selling myself short. Great.
I don't know. I feel like you fit right into this show.
Yeah, I kind of, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan. I'm from the state of Maryland, which is way too far away from Kaiju Brooklyn. Unfortunately, if it were closer, I would be there in a heartbeat. But anyway, that's beside the point. So I'm from Maryland. I'm a podcaster. I'm also a writer. I became a writer last year. Got published in an anthology for Westerns, because Westerns are kind of a big deal. And so how I started this whole thing was, it's a funny thing. Everyone says this magical little number called 2020. It just rolls off the tongue so well. So in 2019, some friends of mine and I who were in college at the time, Taos University, go Tigers. I know it's so cliche. In Towson, Maryland. What's up, guys? We love you. They started a YouTube channel and they were looking for people to join it. And at the time it was called Nerd Culture. And they said, hey, Ryan, we want you to be a part of it. Because, I went to an interest meeting and, things took off from there. And they said, hey, Ryan, we want you to join our team. And, you're going to run a playlist. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? So they said, we want you to run nerd culture interviews. You seem like a really good people person. You like talking to people. And we want you to, get interviews with, anybody you want, actors, writers, like whatever you want. I said, okay. So, and then we hit the ground running, and then the world shut down with, the pandemic. So we had to do things from home. We had to shoot content from home instead of using the resources we had available to us at the time at TU. So I just started going into Facebook groups, and I started meeting with people through Facebook groups, and a lot of them became our indie authors, indie publishers, and all that jazz. Really? Okay. Change the, well, I mean, if they want to change the name of the event, that's fine. I don't care. I mean, they can still call it Kaiju whatever, and I'm still going to be a happy guy. It doesn't matter. Kaiju Maryland. I mean, I don't know if it has the nicest ring to it as Kaiju Brooklyn.
Exactly.
It does. That's all I'm saying. No offense. But anyhow, before I lose track of my mind, which I probably have already, so we were doing stuff through the pandemic. I started conducting interviews with independent creators from all over the world. And but that's funny because and then we got together with another YouTube channel, and they kind of helped us, kind of get off the ground a little bit more so. And they had connections in different, parts of the industry. So one of the first interviews I ever conducted on And I Quote, which at the time was called Nerd Culture Interviews, and then I eventually renamed it And I Quote, was with William Sadler. And William Sadler has been in films like Shawshank Redemption. He played the Grim Reaper in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and Bill and Ted Face the Music. He's been in dozens of TV shows like the Hawaii Five-0 reboot. He was in The Blacklist with James Spader. And he was one of the first interviews I ever conducted in my at that part of my podcasting career. So that was cool. Right, kids? That was kind of a big deal. He's only been around for like in the industry for like 40 freaking years. So, to pick his brain about 4 or 5 different projects, because I only had 10 or 15 minutes with him because he was making the press rounds to promote Bill and Ted Face the Music, which was hitting streaming services at the time because of the shutdown. That was fun. So I thought, you know what? This has been a lot of fun. I want to continue doing this. So the more Facebook groups I joined, the more indie writers and publishers I met, and then I just kind of became friends with them, and then they became guests on my show, and I've interviewed them over the last number of years. So And I Quote has been going for 6 years. Since
wow! Congratulations.
The team at Nerd Culture left in 2022. If not, I think it was 2022. They started to leave and said, "Look, we're going back to work. We're going back to school. We got other things we want to do. So if you want to keep doing this, we're gonna give you the keys at the castle." And they said, "Go have fun with it." I said, "Okay, cool." And I've been running the YouTube channel myself for the last 3 or so years, but I've had a friend of mine named Case from overseas who lives in the Netherlands put together my backgrounds, my overlays, and thumbnails that you see before you. And he's really helped get my YouTube channel, more hyped, more promoted. I've got, we started out with a couple hundred subscribers when Nerd Culture and I first started, and now with me and Case helping me out, I've got about 2,068 subscribers now.
Nice.
At this point, so it's been a lot of fun. So what I do at And I Quote channel is that the mission statement that we do is, thank you. Yeah, I was a Power Ranger for a while too. Previous life. Speaking of dinosaurs, Henry, I am the Red Ranger. All right. So
nice.
Me, all right. I carry a power sword. I control the Tyrannosaurus Zord, and I can control the Megazord with just a few simple words. So don't test me. But anyway, and also I'm a kid of the 90s. Power Rangers is one of my favorite things in the world. And still is to this day.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm in my 30s, but Power Rangers is still one of my favorite things. So anywho, what else? I'm trying to think. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So yeah, Tracy Lynn Cruz did a shout out for our YouTube channel, believe it or not. That was a huge deal. That helped. So yeah, we embrace it or within you. So in And I Quote channel, I interview indie creators from all over the world. I ask them a series of questions. Why did you get into what you're into? Why do you love to do what you do? All that kind of stuff. I've interviewed actors, writers, producers, voice actors. I interviewed the voice actor from Mask from the 80s, Mobile Armored Strike Command. I've interviewed Zordon himself, David Fielding from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I've interviewed Ron Wasserman, the composer of my childhood, with the Power Rangers theme song, the Digimon theme song, Pokemon theme song, VR Troopers. Yeah, VR Troopers is a thing. Big Bad Beetleborgs as well.
Ryan, do you just ask people to be on your podcast? How does this work? I mean, you're like interviewing these major names in the industry. Do you just like reach out to them, say, "Hey, I'd love to interview you. Can you do it?"
When I'm at conventions, I do, and then I do it through social media. If I'm not at a convention to see them, in person, I do it on their maybe not so much their Instagram, because some people don't respond to their Instagram, so I email them because I feel like that's more professional. To a certain degree, it is.
It is.
It really is. Email very, very good to me. Social media very, very good to me. So
yeah, Yemi says it right here. Yeah, and I was about to say it too. The answer is always no if you don't ask.
Yeah, and as they say in the sitcom, you only miss 100% of the shots you don't take in this life. So
exactly.
You got to.
I mean, not to interrupt Ryan's journey, but in the happenstance of asking, Ryan, you're probably going to freak out, but I had Andre Gower on once to do the Monster Squad with me on the podcast, which was really wild. But I also got Jeff Nimoy to do the Digimon movie with me.
That's really
which was probably the coolest thing I've ever done on my career as a podcaster. Was get to watch Jeff Nimoy and tell him, "Thank you for making this movie. My sense of humor is my ability to tell jokes is because of the Digimon dub jokes of the late 90s."
Digimon. Oh, anyway. Now you got the theme song in my head. So yeah, thank you for playing the video of me just doing the poses of the original '93 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. That's basically.
I think it's a great video.
That's basically me doing the pose of the Red Ranger and the Blue Ranger and maybe even the Black Ranger, all in the span of 30 seconds. And by the way, thank you to BB Banks 360 photo booth, because that guy is just freaking awesome. The way, and he plays he has the music in the video, after he does the editing. It's incredible. I love it. So anyway. So I am a Power Ranger. It's great. It feels wonderful. 1993, inner 6-year-old is just bursting at the seams. But anyway, so at Anti-Quote, not only do we interview people, but we do shows called Movie Watch Along, where we celebrate a movie that turns a certain age every Friday night at 7 o'clock Eastern time, because, East Coaster, I'm not going to name all 30 time zones. It's not happening. But and then we also do, what else do? We do this thing once a month called the Writer Showcase, where we interview 4 different writers of different genres, and I ask them a series of questions like, what is it that makes a great book? Where's your favorite spot to write your stories? When you're writing, or how do you interact with your fans, your followers, and all that jazz? So yeah, Vanessa Marshall, wonderful woman. I mean, just fantastic. So going to these conventions, I've been going to Comic-Cons. Full disclosure, a little of a sidetrack here, Raphael. I'm sorry, but you got me talking. So I've been going to conventions 15 years, and I've met Guy Gilchrist was all right. Henry, you talk about having great moments on your podcast. Having this man right here, Guy Gilchrist, Jim Henson's cartoonist and one of his closest friends, on my show, because like anybody, I grew up on Muppet movies. I grew up on Muppet Babies. Like I grew up on that shit. All right, I grew up on that shit. So to have Guy Gilchrist virtually talking to me, and we did it like an hour and a half. It was almost like a 2-hour interview at one point, because he told me all these stories about what it was like working with Jim Henson and the people who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make the Muppets as good as they are. He actually interacted with me as Kermit for like the last 5 minutes of that interview, because he has a replica of the Kermit puppet in his studio, which you saw in that photo there. So when he interacted with me as Kermit, I was like, I almost started crying, because it's like, this is our childhood. This is what people loved watching when they were kids, and even as adults, we still love this stuff. It doesn't matter how old you get, brother. We love this stuff. So Guy Gilchrist is in the top 5 guests I've ever had in the history of my podcasting career thus far. Henry, just to answer your question. So yeah, Anti-Quote is where I get to share my love of movies, my love of television shows, my love of just movies, TV series, collecting, books, because I became more of a bookworm now than I was when I was a little kid. When you're a little kid and you have to read stuff for school, it's not really fun. But when you do it on your own, it's more fun. And then I got to be honest with you, Raphael, I've met hundreds of writers in my podcasting career. And they are some of the most nicest, kindest, respectable, like most creative people in the world, honestly. And even, and this is another thing I like to talk about on my show, comics. I love comics. comics are just another way of expressing our love of stuff. You know, art form. It's an art form. It's beautiful. It's awesome. So I've interviewed my favorite comic book writer of all time. I actually interviewed him on my podcast. True story, Raphael. I walked up to him at GalaxyCon. I think it was in Raleigh, North Carolina. Mark Wade. Mark Wade of DC Comics. I went up to one of the biggest titans in the history of the comic industry. I said, "Hey, you know, I do this thing. It's a podcast, you know, where I interview. You know, I gave him the 20-second elevator pitch, Raphael. I was like, hey, I run a show. I interview people, and it's a lot of fun. I want to Would you mind coming on the show? Because Kingdom Come is my favorite graphic novel of all time.
Yeah,
Kingdom Come is my favorite graphic novel of all time. Mark Wade, Alex Ross. You put it together, it's chef's kiss." And I said, "Would you be willing to be on the show?" He looks at me and he says, "I'm going to be traveling in the next couple of weeks. Shoot me an email, and I'll let you know when I'm done, you know, traveling around for a little bit, because I got some shows coming up, and then I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm willing to do it." I said, "Okay." Nice. So a few weeks later, I email him. You know, I email him after the show. A couple weeks later, I get a response. And he said, "All right, I'm down to do this. You know, here are the dates I'm available. Here's the times I can do it. Blah blah blah." So we worked it out, and then we did I think it was like a 45-minute interview where I was just asking him about all the favorite comics that I enjoyed from his career thus far, and then, you know, just what it was like working with Alex Ross, was it like working with DC. Why do you love Superman so much? And he expressed to me why he does. And hashtag Superman is my number one favorite character of all time, and those are the facts of this case, and they are undisputed. All right, Superman is the man. He's the big dog. All right, for me anyway. So it's just been a great wild ride of 6 years doing the show, and I got over 2,000 subscribers now, and people comment when they can. You know, sometimes they don't comment during the live feed because I do, you know, things on Friday nights, Saturday mornings, Saturday nights, and a lot of people are out and about doing their own thing, like Kaiju Brooklyn, you know, or whatever. but the replay value is super important.
I gotta say, you know, I'm happy that you
they watch the replays.
I was gonna say, Ryan, I'm happy that you said that, because
our videos,
you know, that's where a lot of the stuff happens for us, is the replay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, people may not watch you at times live, but when you go back and look at the replay statistics and the numbers, like 48, 72 hours later, it's amazing to me how many people have gone back and watched our videos, especially the movie watch-alongs, because the movie watch-alongs, we go on some of the most random tangents during those shows that have nothing to do with the movie, Henry. So we just go, ape shit, but it's so much fun doing it because people come back and say, "Oh, I mean, you guys talked about this during the movie, but then when you talked about this, I thought that was really interesting. How you talked about how all these actors have been in different projects, but yet they're all like 6 degrees of separation." And you know, it's funny because one of the more recent watch-alongs we did has over 5,000 hits, and I don't understand why. But our Cobra 40th anniversary watch-along, yeah, that Cobra with Sylvester Stallone, that's right, Cobra with Sly. All right, Life on Saturn Comics. You may not be familiar. But if you look this shit up, look up Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. It is one of the cheesiest machismo 80s movies of all time.
Is that Canon movie group?
From Canon Films. That's right. Canon, the notorious studio for making bad good movies.
When did that broadcast, Ryan? When did that broadcast or podcast for with Cobra?
Oh, so well, where do we do it?
No, when?
When did it air?
Okay, so the movie watch alongs specifically are live every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So we celebrate a different movie every single week, and then just give everyone a heads up. And I quote the interview show that I do one-on-one with a guest, or you know, depending on. Yeah, you still eat your pizza with scissors. Yeah, thank you. I understood the Cobra. So I know it's so dumb. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, and I quoted on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern time, where I interview an indie creator, you know, whether it's a writer, producer, actor, whatever. And it's a lot
of fun, folks.
Oh, it's in the words of 1993 inner 6-year-old in me, it's more phenomenal, guys. It's more phenomenal.
Dude, me and Ryan went on a geek off and a half.
Yeah, no, seriously, we do that, and then Saturday nights, every other couple of Saturday nights, we do the writer showcases once a month. So that's like the third or fourth Saturday of every month at 7:00 Eastern. We just dropped a new episode last week, which, by the way, it's our longest episode of the writer showcase so far, and it went for 2 hours and 45 minutes that night. It was long as hell, but it was so much fun because my guests, not only were they answering the questions, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, but they went on these side tangents. And it was just so much fun to hear them talk and geek out, freak out, brother. Yeah. About all this other pop culture-y stuff, because I eat, sleep, and breathe like everyone else on this panel. I love pop culture. I have no shame. So
So if you're covering canon movies, have you? I feel like one that's super underrated is Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Have you covered that?
Not yet, no. And I've actually never seen the movie, to be perfectly honest with you.
Oh my god, that's one of my favorites growing up.
I hear you, but let me give you a heads up about this, Thomas. So the movies that we do on the movie watch along show that we do every Friday night, 7 p.m., are movies that I have personally seen. So every movie that's there on that playlist, which by the way, there is a playlist for every single one of our shows and every single one of the fandoms that we like to cover, which in our case could be DC, Marvel, Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I have no shame. Or comic books, movies. There is a playlist for every single kind of show that we do. And I also, when I'm collaborating with you fine folks, such as this show, I have a separate playlist called And I Quote Collaborations, where I'm either a guest on somebody else's show or we do a crossover, even though Egon keeps telling me never to cross the streams, but we do it anyway because it's more fun that way. So that's been a lot of fun. So yeah, no, this has been 6 years, 2,068 followers. I've been a podcaster on and off for the last 20 years of my life, and I've met some incredible, wonderful human beings. And yes, Raphael is amongst them. So honestly, having some of the people from my childhood, whether it's Power Rangers or the Muppets or DC, which, like I said, I love Superman. It's been a dream. It's been a dream coming true, because when I was 6 years old, I was quoting movies to my classmates because I love movies so hard, and I still do. And to be able to sit down and talk with some of these actors or performers who have been a part of my childhood for 30 plus years, I mean, that's a big deal. Like, that's not something that comes around very often. And the other thing is, once again, you only miss 100% of the shots that you do not take. So if I'm at a Comic-Con and I'm talking to these celebrities or artists, whether it's artists, but by the way, every time I go to a convention, I make sure to visit Artist Alley or Exhibitors Alley, because the indie artists, the exhibitors, the creators, like you find folks, Life on Saturn Comics.
Oh, definitely.
I make sure to visit as many of them as I can, because peoples are peoples. And the indie creators, very, very good to me.
Yeah.
Podcasting, very, very good to me.
Yes, they are.
And I want to keep, I know. I am so full of catchphrases, but I want to keep that momentum going, because I grew up in a family where I was taught a number of things, but one of the things was I was born, in my opinion, I feel like I was put on this earth to do a number of things, but one of the most important things I feel I was put on this earth to do is to entertain. I love entertaining people, because if I can make one person smile out of 100, I've done my part for society. And the other thing is, I grew up in a loving and caring family, so I do my best to care and respect other people, because indie supports indie, I believe, in this business. And if you plug somebody, they're going to plug you back. And if you keep plugging them, they're going to plug you even more. So, as the old saying goes, ladies and gentlemen, rising tide raises all ships. That's just a fact of life. It just is. And in the words of my one of my favorite fictional characters from 30 plus years ago, who's still in our spirits to this day, we are all connected in the great circle of life. So that is my 20,000 word spiel. But let me tell you one thing, though, Raphael. Let me tell you one thing. If you had told me 20 years ago that I'd be a published writer for someone who's autistic and is very good at expressing his thoughts verbally, but not always good at putting his thoughts down on paper, but now I'm getting the groove of it, brother. And I got a published short story in Western Tales Volume 1, which is on my link tree that you just showed there, in ebook, paperback, and hardcover. Now I'm in the process of editing another short story that I'm going to submit for Western Tales Volume 2, because these days, folks, you got to make a sequel, all right? You got to make a sequel.
Yes.
So
it's all about the sequels.
Yeah, it's all about sequels, Sydney. You got to make a sequel. So I love podcasting, but now I can say, my name is Ryan, and I'm a writer. And that's awesome. That's a wonderful feeling, I think. So I'm a podcaster, I'm a writer. And speaking of comics, the fact that you brought this up, Life on Saturn, I do have this idea in my mind for a one-shot comic, but maybe, just maybe, I could put a little something together to contribute to an anthology of something. Maybe. Because maybe I won't have to think about 26 pages. Maybe I can only think about 5, maybe 8, whatever. Now, granted, that's going to, with limits, I got to cut down on the verbiage there, right, brother? But
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to cut down on exposition and all this other stuff. But if it's a way to get myself in the door to being an indie comic writer, I don't think that's a problem. So of my goals
Dude,
for 2026
folks,
is
I'm really happy that you said that, because I love telling people, make your 5-page, make your 8-page, or whatever you need to do the initial little bit to
Start
tease
small.
people. And you don't have to do the whole comic. Do a tease. And if the tease is in an anthology, it's even better, because now you don't have to worry about all the other stuff that comes with that. Because the big problem when it comes to being a comic writer or a writer in general is selling your own stuff. If you're in an anthology, it makes it a little easier.
I would say it makes it a little easier, doesn't it? I mean, kind of, but this, one of my goals this year is for potentially the end of the year, beginning of next year, depending on how we go about it, either put together a Kickstarter for a one-shot comic or contribute to an anthology of some kind. And now that I know people like Life on Saturn Comics, they know a thing or two about anthologies. I know a thing or two. I can get in touch with these two folks over here and be like, "Yo,
hit us up.
I got an idea for a story. I need you to look at this for me."
I love connecting people on the show. I love,
like I said, we're all connected.
Like Ryan says, we raise each other up.
Yeah, we're all connected. But so that's basically who I am as a person. That's who I am as a podcaster. And I quote, check us out, because we embrace the nerd within you. We invite you all to be there, help us out, support us, as because I do my best to support as many people. Who doesn't love collaborations? Exactly. Because as they say in the olden times, teamwork makes the dream work. And the fact that I can say, and this, I don't mean to harp on this, Raphael. I apologize if I'm harping on this, but the fact that I'm proud to be autistic. I have no shame about it. It's a part of my life. It's a part of who I am, and it makes me who I am, and I love it. So the fact that I'm autistic, a podcaster, and a writer all at the same time, and I can say that and own it and be proud of that, that's, I mean, to me, to a certain degree, that's like putting the icing on a Kaiju Brooklyn cake.
There you go.
So I'm not going to physically, mentally, emotionally be at Kaiju in Brooklyn, but who knows? You can pass out my QR code if you want. I don't care, but I'll be there in spirit. Even though I'm not a ghost, I'm not dead. I'm still alive. But that's basically who I am. That's what I'm all about. And I'm just, not to sound corny, but I'm just happy to be here. And I'm just a simple man trying to make his way in the universe. So there you go.
That's what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. Paul, why don't you finish telling the people who you are and all the good stuff? And I think I got that video ready for you.
Yeah, pull the video up, man. That says it all.
Let's go to the videotape, folks.
I understood.
Very well voice acted as well, as you guys know. So,
here we go. We are in the we're in the Time Enforcer video thing here, and here we go. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, where is it? Where is that tape? Show me the tape.
Los Angeles, the city of angels, 1947. The war is over, but the streets still feel like they're fighting something sinister. The air's thick with the whiffs from Pan's 24, all-you-can-eat blue plate special, hot asphalt, and bad intentions. Neon signs buzz and flicker, casting purple and green halos into the puddles. Ripples that shift the wrong way, like the streets casting reflections of someone or something that should not belong here. That's where you'll find me, Nick of Time, detective, time enforcer, and the guy they call when history's about to get itself into a knot. Some folks say I'm as tough as a $2 steak, and they're not wrong. But I've got a soft spot for the ones worth saving, the lost souls, the underdogs, the ones who never got their fair shake. I've chased crooks down back alleys, across oceans, and through centuries. And I've learned one thing: time's got teeth. Bite the wrong way, and it'll chew you up quick and spit you right back out. Me? I keep my rules close, my friends closer, and my watch wound tight. Because in this city, and in this job, if you're not watching the clock, you're already out of time.
Wow. I want that trench coat and I want that fedora right now.
Exactly.
I want to walk around and parade around like Sam Spade in one of my all-time favorite movies, Maltese Falcon, and just, start talking, interrogating people like, why'd you do it? Why'd you, say, thank you, but you're a genius, honey. Just channel my inner Humphrey Bogart, Paul, and just go ape shit. Honestly.
It's such a great character, man. That's one thing. The Maltese Falcon, and then
Casablanca.
Rick from Casablanca, man, is
Love it.
quintessential to me.
Love it.
Love
Those are my two of my favorite movies, Paul. You and I are going to get along famously.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
I thought that was really awesome.
And of course,
is that Dr. Emmett Brown?
No,
It's not
that's
Dr.
Professor C.T. Haugens. He's from
Oh,
the book.
sorry. I thought it was Doc Brown tripping on acid.
No.
A lot of people think so.
Yeah, everyone thinks Doc Brown or
Rick and
Professor
Morty.
Einstein or the Wacky Professor, whoever. But no, it's C.T. Haugens.
Okay.
He's from the book.
That's pretty cool, though.
I based all the characters off some facet of history, and this character is actually based on Christian Huygens, who was a physicist from the 18th century. He actually invented the pendulum. It's really cool.
Wow.
And it's just I'm trying to get kids exposed to history in a fun way that they don't realize they're being exposed to it. It's like you kind of slap them from behind and then realize, wow, this is really cool. I didn't know this guy was actually part of growing up and learning stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. I learned bits and pieces about history through this animated series. I don't know if you ever heard of it or not, but it's called Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes.
Everyone says that. It's just like, it's so funny because, it's like I talk about gamification and, the educators are like kind of dead set against it. But everyone I talk with, it's either where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, or it's the Oregon Trail, or in my case, it's Mr. Peabody and Sherman because, man, Fractured Fairy Tales were the best. It's just like, you make learning history fun and people remember it more, so.
Yes, Yumi, I'm so with you. I played the game. I watched the animated series. I watched the game show with that singing troupe. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? It's just it's so much fun. This is the thing I miss about. Speaking of history, Paul, I wish I had a DeLorean time machine to go 80 miles per hour and see some serious shit. You know why? Because I would time travel back to the 90s where we had everything. For me, anyway, we had everything. We had the movies, the TV series, the light-up sneakers, the Pogs, the tech decks, And
that was before the internet, which was amazing. It's like it was so much more creative back then. It really was.
The 90s were a gem. They were a gem. They were a diamond in the rough.
Yep.
The last good time with McDonald's toys.
Well, Dominic, I will give you that because I remember going to McDonald's specifically just to get the Happy Meal toys where it contained the action figures from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, in 1995. I made sure that my mom took me there so I can get all 6. It took me a minute, though. But I eventually got all 6. And I remember going to I think it was McDonald's or Burger King, and got the Batman Forever glasses, like the special commemorative glasses from Batman Forever.
I still have my Two-Face one.
Dude, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me because I got rid of all that stuff. And I feel so guilty because we didn't know what we had back then to a certain degree. It's like, what they say, Life on Saturn Comics. You don't know what you have until it's gone.
Fair.
That's what we had, man. We had it all. We had it in spades.
And it costs so much money to get it back. That's what we're facing. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. But I do remember one thing that stood out in my mind when I was watching TV in the 90s. Sega! I mean, I had Genesis, baby. I had Genesis.
Yeah, me too. Sega.
Yep. Sega. Yeah. We had, I had I had this, what do you call it? Maybe steal. My brother's Game Gear. Do you remember Game Gear?
Yeah.
It's like that giant brick of a handheld system. Yeah.
Yeah, the batteries didn't last that long.
They didn't last long at all there, Raphael. And I was playing the Star Wars video game at the time, too. Yeah, those are some fun times. Yeah, but no, what is it, Paul? This is a diamond in the rough, man. This is $1 million worth of stuff. You know what it is, Paul? And I say this to everybody in this room because we're all creators here. Everyone in this building is so money. You're so money, you just don't even know it. Honest to God, like beer, man. Everyone in this room is money. Everyone, every single one of you. So.
Yeah, I just have way too much fun. That's the problem, and not sleeping enough too. That's the other problem.
Yeah. I like the animation that we just saw, and I like the fact that because it's just a black and white detective that you only had to animate the mouth. That's really clever. I like that.
Yeah, believe me, that was only because I didn't have enough time to animate anything.
Honestly, you really wouldn't have to animate anything else. That was all you needed.
Yeah, because I was like we were saying earlier, Dominic, less is more.
Hell yeah. That's what this episode's called.
Less is more.
Always leave your audience wanting more every single time.
Page turners.
Page turners. That's another expression. Yep.
Yeah, I really want to get back. Once I get the comic done and the Kickstarter done, and Raphael knows this, I'll be doing a tabletop RPG.
Oh,
I pretty much have the cards drawn out and ready to go. It's just a matter of doing the rule book and then some mechanics. But other than that, this is all going to be part of the whole framework for the education format. So it's getting kids involved and hands-on stuff, which is really exciting to me. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So
I like the post there with the colonial expression, like calling all teachers like you do matter. It's like, which is important because it is important. It is.
Because I mean, that's one of the things. My wife is in education, and we talked about this a lot. She works with kids with learning disabilities at her college, and gets them through to the point where 80% of the kids who are pretty much written off freshman year graduate with honors, and they're on the the president's roll, and it's just amazing. And it's like the teachers have a voice, and it's really important that they know what they're getting into, and that's why I like speaking with them about this. I really want their feedback in terms of what it is you feel meaningful that will be really helpful for this program, make it worthwhile and something that'll be used. And I've gotten some really good feedback on it. It's been a great conversation with these educators and how they really would like to see an ability to, stage the program for learners who may not be able to, go through it so quickly. And that's why it's built around universal design for learning, where we're trying to make this as accessible for everyone and stage it where you can go through it at an easy pace or go through it at a hard pace, however you want to do it, and just make it, adaptable that way. So.
No, it's great.
I think it's much appreciated in a time where some people are trying to bury history. You're trying to make it more fun to learn, and that's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, my sister-in-law is a teacher, and she works with students with disabilities. I believe she's a middle school teacher here in my neck of the woods of Maryland, and she's been doing that for 20 years. So it's important stuff, man. Teachers are very, very important, and they don't always get the credit that they deserve because it's an old expression, right? And we could say this about a lot of professions too, but I feel like teachers overworked, underpaid kind of gets thrown into the mix. But some of my favorite people in the world have been teachers. My high school English/drama teacher, because I told her I wanted to be an actor for the longest time, and she encouraged me to, audition for the plays we were doing in school. So I have her to thank for that, because if she didn't encourage me and push me to do, kind of encourage me to do it, I wouldn't become the non-existent Oscar-winning actor that you see before you. So, it's funny because I started doing one-act plays, Paul. I was in one-act plays. Like I did these small, little roles here and there. And then all of a sudden, less than a year later, she cast me as Deputy Governor Danforth in Arthur Miller's The Crucible. And I have like 250 lines that I have to remember. So I go from having to memorize 15 lines here, guys, to 250 in less than a year. So I'm just like, how do you feel that this kid from Nowheresville is remotely qualified to play a deputy governor of of Salem, Massachusetts during a very tumultuous time? But she
had faith in you, man. That's what counts.
That's the thing. Like she threw that at me, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance, see what happens.
Are they at least scattered lines, or are you monologuing?
No, it's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of both. They are scattered because I'm having dialogue with other characters in most of the scenes that I'm in, and then one or two of them I'm having like these long paragraph, like 2-paragraph monologues, and I'm just like, am I going to remember all this stuff? Because this is a plethora of lines, Jefe. It's a plethora. So that movie turns 40 this year, believe it or not. Three Amigos, what's up? And yes, we will be doing a 40th anniversary watch along of Three Amigos.
Nice.
Just so everybody knows, it's going to happen. It's on the schedule. And I just bought the DVD this weekend, so I have access to it, so I can watch my DVD for the show. Because sometimes on my show, I'm either watching the movie through a streaming service, or sometimes I have to go old school because I'm still a proponent of physical media, because physical media is just as important as anything else in this world.
Hell yeah.
I have to use my portable DVD player. Yeah, that's right. Portable DVD player, guys. Yeah, I'm old school like that. So I use it, and I sit it right here next to me in my on my studio on my desk. So it's I'm multitasking at times, fellas. It's not easy being me. But then again, Kermit said it's not easy being green. So what do I got to complain about? But yeah, no, they're fun. And yeah, Paul, we're championing you. We're cheering you on. We're going to support this. I already signed up for your pre-launch page on Kickstarter.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
down. I'm in. Like you sold me. You sold everybody in this room. Say in the words of sales pitches, say no more, because we're already dropping the Futurama on you by saying shut up and take our money. So
yeah, it's just I'm having too much fun with this project. It's just I keep coming with ideas and just not enough time to do them. So it's really my big
dude. Every time we have a conversation, we talk about something. Paul's like, I can do that. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Creative ideas for short stories come to me in the middle of the night before I go to sleep or while I'm sleeping. Ever think that way? Ever have that happen to you?
That's always the time. Yeah. That's always the time.
It happens when you're sleeping, or it happens when you get up in the morning. You're like, oh, I have this idea. I got to write it down. But then you forget to write it down because you got all these other things you got to do before you write it down. You're like, oh, damn it. You're like, Life on Saturn Comics, where are you when I need you?
I do that all the time. I think of ideas all day long, every day. Like, it's just, I annoy people with how much I'm always coming up with stories based on a conversation they're having. I'm like, that makes me think of something, but I just whip out my phone and record myself talking real quick. And my phone is loaded with voice memos.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you say that because Yummy's saying the same thing over here. You leave they say you leave a notebook next to the bed. I've left the notebook next to the bed, and I've even done the messages in the middle of the night. All you get is gibberish.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make by the way, these are mini notebooks you can put in your back pockets. These are
I have so many of those.
Yeah.
So Life on Saturn, one more time, tell the people where they can find you, all the good stuff.
Okay, Life on Saturn Comics on Instagram. Technically most social media, but the Instagram's where we promote the most. And lifeonsaturnart.com.
Go check them out. And of course, they're going to be at Kaiju Brooklyn this weekend. Kaiju Brooklyn this weekend. So you can meet them in person, get the book in person, not have to deal with shipping and handling. Say all the good stuff, say hi, and of course, see the cosplay in person.
Yeah.
Look at that, look preview.
You think you're a nerd? Come prove it. Talk to me.
I love that. Oh my God, dude! As you can tell, we have a lot of fun at Kaiju Brooklyn. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be bringing all these people to you. Henry, what do you got to say about Kaiju Brooklyn and yourself?
You need to go. You just need to go. If you click on the link tree for It Came From a Monster Movie, it'll take you straight to get your tickets. I really recommend there. So there is an event Friday. There's an art show and a party to celebrate the start of the convention. There are details on the websites of how to participate in that. Saturday, we'll be all there. We'll be there all day. You'll see me. You'll see Life on Saturn. You'll see everyone who's there. Talk to people, interact with people. Come see the live show at the Brooklyn One Theater. It starts at 6. You'll see the show in person, which will be really fun. And then we'll have TJ Storm introduce the film. We'll watch Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then there'll be an after show after that screening. And even Sunday's really good. And then when Sunday is done, I recommend sticking around because a lot of us just go to the frying pan and have a drink and catch up. And we really recommend being part of that experience. It'll be a lot of fun. Like, I have been to many a giant monster convention, and Kaiju Brooklyn is the best Kaiju monster-themed convention I have been to. And I've been to a few. So just check out Kaiju Brooklyn wherever you look at. You can just Google it. It'll take you to Instagram, websites, all that jazz. And then you can also find me at IckFam Podcast on Instagram or IckFam Pod. Just go onto Spotify, look up It Came From a Monster Movie Rebirth. Make sure if you're going to listen to the show, make sure that you listen to the Rebirth series, because the Rebirth series is the current series. If you listen to the original IckFam series, that's great, but that's done. There are no more. That's not going to update. So just get ready, and then in June should be our season finale with The Lost World Jurassic Park. So I really, really recommend people to check out the show and to check out Kaiju Brooklyn. And I just, looking forward to seeing you there.
And of course, if you are at Kaiju Brooklyn, say hi, and I'll put you in the trailer. There you go. Now you get marked. Ryan, one more time, where can they find you?
Oh boy, yeah. Sorry, I just took the liberty of following Life on Saturn Comics on Instagram and Kaiju Brooklyn on Instagram. So on both my personal.
Don't follow me. That's fine, Ryan. Go on then.
No. I'll follow you. No.
No. That was fine. No. You follow those 2 other accounts. No. That's fine.
Hey, thanks.
No, you go on.
I will follow you. You will, of course. Anyway, quit being so testy. My name is. Who am I? What am I doing here? Oh yeah. My name is, why am I here? I'm not even supposed to be here today. Damn it. Anyway. My name is Ryan of Van Dyke Quote Channel. You can follow me on all forms of social media, as you can see in my link tree being shown on the big Titantron, as I like to call it, like in wrestling, because I grew up watching wrestling in the late 90s and early 2000s between WCW versus the WWE at that time, and beyond. I watched the wrestling beyond that. But yeah, follow me on all forms of social media, simply at Van Dyke Quote Channel. My primary way of entertaining the millions and millions of people out there is through YouTube with my show on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where I interview some of the best indie creators from all over the world. And everything we do is live. I just want to make that perfectly clear to everybody. It's a live show. Everything I do is a live show because I don't know how to edit. And I interact with my millions of people, the millions of wonderful people out there in the world through the comments / live chat. So check us out Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Brand I Quote. Check us out on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we celebrate a movie that's turned a certain age. This week, we're going to be celebrating the 15th anniversary of X-Men First Class.
Nice.
This week. Yeah, brother. Yeah. And then
Good
2 weeks
movie.
later, we're going to be celebrating.
Yeah, that was good.
I know. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to be celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Fast and the Furious that started it all. So, because it's about family. All right. It's about family. And everybody in this room, I don't got friends. I got family. So, but yeah, check us out. We celebrate movies. We celebrate indie creators by asking them a series of questions, get to know them a little bit better. And then we also take your questions. That's what we love to do about these shows. We love hearing from you, the millions and millions of people out there in cyberspace, because I do this because I love sharing my love of pop culture with other people, and I love to entertain. So if that's something that fits your fancy and you want to have some tea and crumpets and hang out with us in the Anti Quote studios of cyberspace, check us out, because I got to be honest with you, Raphael, you're going to like the way you look after watching content. I guarantee it. Thank you, Raphael. Back to you in the studio.
All right, here we go, folks. My last word to you, the last thing I need to say to you, because, on this show, something happens when it ends. And my last word to you is...